Good morning, everyone. What you're looking at right here is my cucumber plants. I am having to go in and harvest what I can, but all of my plants have this, every leaf. So it's a type of fungus. We've treated it, but it didn't get any better. We've had the hot temperatures here and then the cold mornings, and it's the cold mornings that puts this on the plant. So my squash in the other garden has it, the zucchini has it. I'm upset, but not too upset because I was able to harvest a lot of cucumbers basically on a daily basis, and I've canned over 12 quart-sized jars of pickles, and I still have probably a couple more quart sizes that I could can. And what are you doing? Miss Hannah is out here trying to help too. But I'm going through and I'm pulling all of this up, and then I'm just going to take it from there, and I'm going to have to pull everything up on the other side too. So that is what's happening today. I think it's time to harvest this echinacea. We're getting a lot of blooms. Alright, I'm going to check my garden out over here this morning. You know, I was pulling up all of the cucumber plants because they had that blight on them. So I'm going to check it out over here. This side of the garden looks like it's doing pretty good. There's the beans. There's the corn. Here are the melons. And there's a baby melon. I'm trying to be careful and keep an eye out for snakes because we've already killed two rat snakes. One was trying to get inside the chicken house, and then the other one was in the chicken house. It had swallowed 2 eggs. Hey, Kit Kat. 2 eggs, and then it was laying there with an egg stuck in its mouth. And so we thought maybe it had choked on the egg and it died. So we went and took the one of our hose, or there's another one, one of the hose, and tried to move it and get it out of the chicken house. There's some of that blight. Look at that. I'm going to have to cut that off. And the snake spit the thing out of its mouth, the egg. Hey, Kit Kat. You scared me. I thought you was a snake. There's another melon over there underneath the corn. So it spit the egg out of its mouth, and it raised up like it was wanting to strike. And because we thought it was dead. So needless to say, this snake's not alive. And it was big. It was almost as big as the other one. So I'm trying to be careful walking through here. Look at that up there. See that right there and right there? Right there's one. These are sugar babies and honeydew that we planted. There's one growing on the fence. So it shouldn't be much longer, and then they're going to be ready. I can harvest those. Our onions are doing good. The melons have grown up so much over here. Look at that. See that one? have grown up so much over here, you cannot get in here to weed. So here's this. Oh, hello there, Mr. Frog. Are you down there with all of the bugs? Oh, he's getting him a treat. This is the beetle trap that I told you all about. It'll catch all of the Japanese beetles. It looks like he's been down there trying to eat some. And that is the bait. Well, have at it, little one. Alright, let's go over here on the other side. Like I said, this side is doing pretty good. And then when you get over here on this side, look at this. All of the potatoes have wilted. Do you remember how nice and green they were? Well, that was a fungus also. So we're going to have to come through here and try to harvest our potatoes. See how many we got. The squash, they've got blooms on them, you know, but nothing is producing. It could be that they're not pollinating, but look at this, guys. So I'm going to have to come through and cut all of these bad leaves off, just like I did over there with the cucumbers, and hopefully I can save the ones that doesn't have it on there. This is a type of mildew that squash can get, and it has been very humid here. We've had extreme weather. It has gone from being, what are you after, girl? Do you see something? I'm glad she's out here in the garden with me. But getting back to the weather, I know it sounds like I'm rambling, but I'm trying to explain and be thorough. The weather here. Look at this. The atmosphere is so heavy. It's so humid. I went out and bought a dehumidifier to put in the house because it's getting so humid in the house. My bread is molding. The spices and herbs are clumping together because of all of the moisture, the humidity in the air, and I had to get that out of there. We can't, you know, live in an environment like that, especially with allergies and asthma. So, but yeah, the weather has just been extreme here. The mornings are cool, about 60 degrees, and I know some of these plants don't like anything below 70 degrees. And when it's cool like that in the morning and the dew gets on the plants, that's another thing that I was reading, that it'll cause this fungus, blight, this mold. See the spots? So yeah, it's attacking it over here. So I'm going to cut all of this stuff back, do with it what I can. We have, you know, treated it. I'm hoping I can save what I can, even on my green beans. So I don't know if this is what's causing it to not produce. I have only gotten a few yellow squash, long neck squash off of these plants. It's just not producing. But over there, look, everything's all green and lush over there. And then over here, everything is just dying out. It's got that mildew or mold problem. Now my peppers, what was causing them to wilt, I read up on it, and I thought it was, see, that one's getting ready to die too. Oh, the watermelon and everything's doing really good, but come on, Kit Kat, come on. But the peppers had a wilting, it's like a bacteria that's in the stalk, it's in the root, and it's a wilt bacteria or something like that, and that can spread to other plants. And it gets inside this, get inside the soil. So over where I had my pepper plants, the ones that had wilted and died, I pulled everything up over there. Nothing is getting planted over there. We're gonna see about treating the soil. So I think I'm gonna probably do that on everything that I pull up. So once we get everything harvested and we have to prepare the garden for next year, we're gonna test the soil, we're gonna treat it and be done with it. We spent a lot of hard labor. Well, he did mostly. A lot of time, hard labor and money to get all of this done. But all is not lost. All is not lost. I was still able to harvest some things. If you've been watching my channel, you've been seeing that I've been harvesting some things. The corn, I'm starting to get ears on the corn, so that's looking good. I'm positive about that. So we can harvest some corn and some melons. We've got onions, we've got potatoes left to harvest. I've got all of my herbs to harvest and to dry those. Come on, Kit Kat. And dry those. So, you know, and we have tomatoes. The tomatoes are doing absolutely wonderful. This is the first year that we've had a lot of good success with tomatoes. So we got the tomatoes as well. What else? I've got my sunflowers. They're starting to get ahead on them and starting to grow and everything. So I'm going to try and harvest sunflower seeds and put those up. And when I was a little girl back home in the Appalachian Mountains, my grandmother would grow these huge sunflowers, and then once the heads got so big and full of seeds, she would cut them down, and she would roast the seeds in the oven and shell them and put them away. And we had sunflower seeds as a snack or to put in breads. So look at this hose pipe. Doesn't that look like a snake? So that's what's going on in the garden. Like I said, all is not lost. I still have other things that's still growing and almost time to harvest, but I believe that the weather is starting to get to the plants, and I am wondering if anybody else is having these problems in their garden with this extreme weather that everyone here has been having. So alright, I'm going to sign off for now. Thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. That way you'll get all of the notifications when new videos are sent out. And I will see you next time in the countryside. Nothing fancy, just country here. Bye. Okay, guys, I have done some research, and we were talking about how we have this mildew looking stuff on our plants. They're turning yellow and with the spots and whatnot. Well, I did some research, and this is in fact mildew. It is a downy mildew, and how that comes about is it affects the plants, and it appears as yellow to a whitish patch on the upper surfaces of older leaves, and on the underside there's areas that are covered with white grayish cotton-like fungi. Okay, and that's how it gets the name of downy mildew. So these downy mildew masses are most often noticed after when it rains or a heavy dew, and disappear soon after sunny weather resumes. As the disease progresses, leaves may eventually turn crisp and brown and fall off, even though that the plant has had ample amount of water done with it. And another thing that it also said that, I don't know if you can see the other ones right there and some of that. Another thing is that the downy mildew occurs in cool, moist weather, usually in early spring or late fall. And these spores production is favored by temperatures cooler than 65 and when the relative humidity is approaching very high, near 100 degrees.
I'm coming.
Or 100%, I should say. So, like I was saying earlier, with that being said, our weather has been, okay, I'm talking, it has been extreme. We've had their cool mornings that has been around 60 degrees, and then we've had the extreme heat. We've had all kinds of rain, and then the days that it's really hot, we try to get everything watered. So I do believe that that is the case with what is going on here. And one thing that you can do to prevent this, when you do see that your plants does have this, you can spray a fungicide, and you could probably use copper. Get some copper and spray and put on your plants, and it will help control it. Now another thing is you can buy seeds that are resistant, that are disease resistant, and there are different manufacturers, seed companies that do sell seeds that are seed resistant. I went to Cornell University online, and they have a really great database of seeds that are seed resistant and the companies that sell them. And it is a downloadable spreadsheet that's done in Excel. And so I downloaded that. So I think what I'm going to do, guys, is definitely next year with my garden is I'm going to get some some disease resistant seeds is what I'm trying to say, and plant those. And I've got some fungicide that we've sprayed on the plants, and we're going to probably order up some copper to see what we can do so that we can save what crops we do have left, because as you can see, that stuff is spreading pretty good. I had to pull up just about all of my cucumbers today, as I was showing you earlier. If you hadn't noticed, it's later in the afternoon. So I worked on that and pulled all of those out, most of them, and I think I'm going to just go ahead and finish up the rest.
I really had to try.
And we didn't put this in the composting bin or with any other of the plants that don't have it on it, because this stuff can spread. Right there's the cucumbers. So he's just going to go over that with the lawnmower, and or we may just burn it. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what my cucumber patch looks like now. I tore a lot of it out. I've got some that's still growing. We sprayed the fungicide on it, so let's see if that helps. And I trimmed back the peppers because some of the leaves on the peppers were starting to look really bad. The tomatoes are doing really good. And if you notice, some of my sunflowers... Okay, hold on, honey. I have a bored little girl today, guys. So looky here. See this? See the spots? So my sunflowers are getting it too. It's the weather that we've been having. All of this humidity and the heat and the cold mornings that we've been getting, that's exactly what it is. So, look at my sweet potatoes. My lemon balm's doing good. So, anyhow, yeah, look at those spots. See that? Yeah, that's called Downy Mildew. And then there's a powdery mildew also, but this is Downy Mildew. So anyhow, guys, I just wanted to give that quick update to let you know that I did some research on this stuff, and wanted to let y'all know what it was. That way, if you guys come across it, then you'll know what to do and how to treat your plants or your crops. Because it can spread on not just your garden, it can even get on your flowers, your annuals and things like that. So, alright guys, so I've had to tackle Japanese beetles this year, now the Downy Mildew, so it's been a garden season, hasn't it? A wild, crazy garden season. So, but all you can do is just, learn and move on, and, just learn how to prevent it from happening. So, anyhow, thank y'all for watching. I just wanted to give y'all that quick bit of information, and hopefully it has helped y'all. So thank y'all for watching, and I will talk to y'all soon.